The suspect was fatally shot by cops. Another deadly shooting in Chicago.
The savagery of the gun violence in Chicago caught on video. A woman dragged from a car. A man attempts to shield her and is shot execution style. All of it in plain sight during the Puerto Rican Pride celebration.
Fox's Mike Tobin. Job cuts are coming at ExxonMobil.
ExxonMobil is preparing to slash its U.S. office workforce by between 5 and 10% every year for the next 3 years, according to Bloomberg. The job cuts will be based on a performance evaluation system to weed out low performers.
Fox's Hillary Barsky. America's listening to Fox News.
Now, here's your Storm Team 10 forecast.
Cloudy and humid tonight, areas of fog, and a slight chance of a passing shower. Lows in the upper 60s. Mainly cloudy Tuesday. Chance for showers mostly in the afternoon toward the evening. Evening highs in the low 80s. Turning less humid, sunny, beautiful on Wednesday. Afternoon highs in the upper 70s. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Mark Searles on News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM.
News Radio 920 and 104.7 FM. Click on the Schnit list every day at schnittshow.com.
All right, listen, it's not like these college athletes, and again, let's face it, the money's in football. All the other sports are essentially losers. From a monetary standpoint, I mean, the money is in college football. Everybody knows it. Now, don't expect for these big college athletes, these big recruits, they're not getting checks. They're not going to start getting, massive salaries. Well, we'll see where lawsuits actually go. But initially, what we're seeing here with the Supreme Court ruling and the NCAA, and right now, like I said, the NCAA, they're the equivalent today of standing in the middle of the street and getting run over by a bus going 55 miles an hour. They don't, still at this point, they don't know it's Monday still. They don't know what day of the week. I mean, this rocked their world this morning, this decision. So they're still trying to figure out what happened. What, did anybody get the license plate number of that bus? But what this means, and I hope you're with me in the last segment, because Brett Kavanaugh, Trump's appointee, and again, this was a unanimous Supreme Court decision. Kavanaugh was on a rip and didn't overwrite this. This was not written like some kind of a legal Supreme Court scholar, using SAT vocabulary words and written at a doctorate level. No, Kavanaugh wrote his concurring opinion to Neil Gorsuch in a very, very understandable and very comparative and a way that you can really understand, using his examples and just common language, and really writing this in a sense that people really could understand. And it wasn't an esoteric and a very involved legal decision where you need a whole bunch of law books to figure this stuff out. No, quite the opposite in what Kavanaugh wrote. Now, what does this mean? Again, in very simplistic terms, the ruling today only allows schools to offer education-related compensation to student athletes. Examples are like laptop computers or internships. But what this does is this just kicks the doors wide open to potential lawsuits that will follow. And I don't think we've got a grasp on all the different angles that these lawsuits could take. I'm wondering, all those legal commercials you see on TV, all the lawyers that are advertising on TV, how about all the mesothelioma commercials that you see on all the I wonder if we're going to have a whole rash of lawyers advertising for legal representation offered to college athletes. opinion also provides insight into how the court will likely view the NCAA's efforts to stifle direct compensation for name, image, and likeness, which is known as NIL. Name, image, and likeness, or NIL. And the fact that some of these colleges, they also make bank, and they rely on utilizing name, image, likeness for some of their star players. Well, this is going to be interesting. Now, already 8 states, including Florida, have their own laws set to go into effect next month to effectively bust up the NCAA stranglehold because Congress failed to act. And it looks like to me that the Supreme Court will be happy to take the matter out of Congress's hands. So, big day, huge day, a massive quake in collegiate sports with the Supreme Court decision. And I don't think have begun really to see what this quake is actually going to produce. Massive earthquakes have created new land masses, new landforms, new islands in the oceans. Yeah, volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. So we'll see actually where this settles, and it's going to be a while to see, again, like all the avenues, all of the tributaries that this water is going to flow through, because I don't think that anyone has a full grasp on all the angles that are going to be affected. So we'll see what happens. And it'll also be interesting to see what happens with the players on sports that are not football. Again, college sports. All right, football is the moneymaker. Then, of course, college basketball is also huge. Yes. So, but college football, that is the number one moneymaker in most cases. You still have dollars that are tied to basketball, and then behind that, what do you have? I mean, baseball. Come on, not even close to football, and then second place basketball. And then the other sports, once you go, again, male and female sports, forget it. So, what's it going to mean for these other players? And again, the big, huge money, yes, it's football. And then in some cases, basketball can be, not far behind. But those are the two biggies. And it's going to take a little while to see how this cookie really crumbles and what this means in reality. So we'll see. 800-801-8999, the nationwide number here on Schnitt. 800-801-8999. That's how you get it. Questions, comments, agree, disagree, you ever want to add to a story, you want to bring something new. 800-801-8999 is the nationwide number here on Schnitt. Supreme Court-wise, what is left? We've had biggies. I mean, here's the Supreme Court with the NCAA. We've had the previous decisions. So we've already had a bunch of these big cases that have already rolled out so far. So what's left? Well, there's an election law case that's coming. This is as Republican-controlled states compete to restrict voting opportunities, pre-up local election management in Democratic cities. The Supreme Court's expected to hand down, this is a decision in Brnovich versus Democratic National Committee. So that could open the door to such practices even more. So that's a big decision that's still yet to come, on top of some of these decisions that have already come down the pike. Obviously, Obamacare, NCAA now are huge. What else is there? Oh, there's a case on how the First Amendment applies to social media. This is a pretty big case as well. This is yet to come out for the Supreme Court this session. It's Mahoney Area School District versus courts have upheld this in the past, that students at schools do not enjoy, we're talking about public schools in many cases, that they do not enjoy full unfettered First Amendment protection. And the way that students were not given full First Amendment protection is the fact that it was determined that they could cause disturbances at school. So that's what clamped down, and that's what put restriction or pinched First Amendment rights, unfettered First Amendment rights to a lot of students, is the fact that schools had been allowed to maintain an environment and to be able to tamp down what was determined to be disruptive behavior or anything that would disrupt the school community. So, again, that's why, the school, if you wear a t-shirt and you're blasting the school, you're blasting the administration, or you have a t-shirt that has profane language on it, that's how the school administration can say, no, you can't do that, and that's why the student hasn't been able to argue, well, listen, you're defeating and you're trampling on my First Amendment rights. The school has the right, it has been shown legally in the past, to uphold a certain degree of decorum, to eliminate or minimize disruption in the school. So this is an interesting case. And also, schools have punished and penalized students for things that they've done off of school grounds and off of school time. Not even technically related to official school events or business. So this is going to be interesting. This case has some issues, and there are some pinch points here. And it's going to be a very interesting case to watch. As I know Reuters pointed out, that many schools and educators supported by President Joe Biden's administration have argued that ending their authority over students at the schoolhouse gates could make it harder to curb bullying, racism, cheating, and invasions of privacy. And a lot of that is occurring online, with the advent of all of this social media crap and all of the electronic communications these days. Before it was schoolyard bullying. Before we had all this social media stuff, unless you've heard me, I think social media is an absolute net negative to humanity. Humanity is worse off because of Twitter and Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram. There is no doubt in my mind that humanity is not as well off because of social media. Yeah, incidentally, the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, they are representing this student in Liel or Brandy Levy. So the ACLU, they've been representing Levy, and they're arguing that students need protection from censorship and monitoring of their beliefs. And the student, Levy, she had a clear-cut, decisive win. This was in the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. And now, clearly, it went all the way to the Supreme Court. And now we have to wait and see exactly what the Supreme Court is going to decide here. So those are some of the big cases. And then if you really want to know some of the really, really, really big stuff, next session. And next session, we can look forward to abortion, guns, affirmative action could actually be on the board for the next Supreme Court term. But folks, we got some bombshells. Obamacare being upheld, and again, 2 of Trump's Supreme Court justice picks upholding Obamacare. We got this case coming up. We have the NCAA ruling today, and that was unanimous. Everybody, conservative and liberal justices alike, everybody was on the same page. I mean, the NCAA, they got a colonoscopy the Supreme Court with no anesthesia. Man. All right, 800-801-8999, the nationwide number here on Schnitt. 800-801-8999. Shifting gears. What the hell is going on with a